I'm Herr Döktor, and today I'm going to show you my latest creation. Inspired by the artwork of Tom Brown, which he prepared at my request for the recent Nemesis competition run by Professor Elemental, I've been building myself my own minion. Yes, this is where it all started. This is Tom Brown's rather fetching illustration of Herr Döktor, as prepared for the Nemesis competition run by Professor Elemental, which is another story for another day. As you can see, I'm there with a ray gun strapped to my back and a walking cane, top hat, long coat. Not an unusual sight for me, but there is a little extra there. If you look to my left, I've got a little floating minion there, who has glowing eyes and 4 viciously beweaponed arms, and is dressed as minions often are in blue dungarees. The difference between this and other minions is this one is a robot. And when I saw it, I said to Tom, "You know, Tom, I'm probably going to have to make myself one of these now." And he went, "Do it," in that lovely American drawl of his. So I did. I did it. Rather, I started it. And how did I start it, you may well ask? Well, I started it by finding a piece of drain pipe, or to be more technically correct, 160mm PVC waste pipe. 160mm because that was the biggest dome size I could find that would be suitable, which is 160mm diameter, and it's a big Christmas bauble, which I bonded to the top there so it can be faired in and made smooth, and left loose on the bottom so I can get inside it. And obviously first on the list of things to do urgent was goggles, because what's a minion without goggles? What's a steampunk without goggles? Don't answer that question. These particular goggles are made out of dessert pots from Sainsbury's, which is just the right size and shape. So with some delicate cutting down and shaping, I was able to form it to fit the contours of the head of the minion there. Eventually lights will be fitted behind the lenses, but first of all I've got to fit the lenses. Here we are a stage further, where I've cut out the shape of the mouth. I did that by making a plastic template and scoring around it, and then cutting it all with a very fine saw blade. As you can see there, I've put some paint on there so I can see what I'm doing, which has also covered a part of the dungarees. Dungarees, of course, being an integral part of any minion. Also at this point, I cut holes for the shoulder joints, which on the original illustration are quite clearly ball joints, which allows for a very good degree of manoeuvrability and posability. So obviously I'm making those out of Christmas baubles as well, although I did change my mind about how they worked, more of which later. Tom didn't supply me with an illustration of the back of the minion, so I've allowed myself to run a little riot here. So I've put in various holes and grills and interesting little doodads of detail there. This was the first pass. Once all that was all set, I decided what other details I was going to add. There's part of a mouse there, a computer mouse, which looks a bit Tesla coily. It's the scrolling wheel there. There's various offcuts of acrylic, and one of my favourite things there, the pipes that do nothing. Pipes that do nothing are very important, because although they do nothing, they look like they might do something. And that's all part of the fun on a build like this, is finding things that look like they might do something even though they clearly don't. Next up was looking at the drawing and reading the story that Nils definitely didn't write about Herr Döktor and his minion coming up against Professor Elemental. He mentioned thrusters, so I had to put thrusters in there. Those particular thrusters are made out of parts of a very strange plastic vase set I keep finding in charity shops. I don't know why they're that shape, but they're a lovely shape, and I've used them in many things. I've used them on spaceships, ray guns, and now a minion, so they're definitely the right sort of thing. Well, here it is with the initial arm joints fitted, but like I said, I can explain why I changed them later. But this is in grey primer, which is probably my third favourite colour. It's a lovely levelling colour. You can see what you're doing, you can work out what to do next because you can see what you're doing, and this is the modified arm joints. As you can see, it swivels like a ball joint should. Oh, look at that posability. But, aha! As it has 4 arms, he needs 2 joints in every ball joint, so they swivel in the centre as well. So that gives it a lot more posability and viciousness, presumably, because, you know, knives. yes, I'm very pleased with that. That was one of those ideas that came to me late at night, just so I was drifting off to sleep. So this is where I am today with the Minion. As you can see, he has goggles, he has arm joints, mouth, the makings of dungarees, the thrusters on the base there, a nice aluminium pole to sit on, because who doesn't like sitting on an aluminium pole? And that's the details on the back with a coat of primer there. Those two apertures there will eventually have LEDs in to illuminate it. So yes, that's the Minion as he stands today. So I'm going to say goodbye to the Minion now, and in just a few seconds I'm going to say goodbye to you. Thank you for watching. Well, that's the Minion so far. Hopefully at some point in the near future you'll be able to see him in person, because I understand an awful lot of scientists, not all of them mad, are working on a cure for this terrible disease. So hopefully we'll all be back up the street soon, out from underneath this lockdown, frightening passers-by by wearing goggles at them. So, thanks once again, and thanks to Count Rostov for organising this little soiree. And yes, take care everybody, because I won't always be there to help you.